Hello, welcome to another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast, where we discuss the latest in poultry nutrition research and industry trends in about 10 minutes. I'm one of the co-hosts, Sam Rochel from Auburn University, Associate Professor of Poultry Nutrition, joined today by Dr. Peter Selle, coming to us from Australia. Peter, how are you doing today?
So far, it's only early, but good.
Great. Well, I appreciate you joining us beyond and handling the time zone difference here. But I'm really excited to talk with you. I'm always excited to read your work and hear you speak and keep up with what you do. But for those who may not be as familiar, can you give a little bit of background about what you're doing now and kind of the career path that led you to your current position?
Oh, dearie me. Well, I sort of stumbled into poultry by accident, and I'll answer your questions not in the same order, but I was talked into doing a part-time Ph.D. at Sydney University back in '98, and I did that, and then mainly with Wayne Bryden and Ravi Ravindran. And then that rolled on and we got involved with sorghum and this, that, and the other. And right now, we've got a consortium where there's 5 tertiary institutions involved in this one mega consortium project. And our bit is poultry nutrition. And what we're trying to do is to reduce the Australian chicken meats industry dependence on imported soybean meal, well, basically by whatever means we can. And so as it stands, we're importing over 1 million tonnes of soybean meal, mainly from Argentina, and that's costing us in US dollars about $650 or maybe $700 a tonne. Wow. So we don't think that's sustainable. So what we're looking to do is to reduce our dependence on that imported soybean meal by 2 methods. One is to reduce crude protein contents of diets, which is more of a problem with wheat than with maize-based diets, unfortunately. And our chicken meat industry is dependent upon wheat and sorghum or milo. Maize is hardly ever, or corn is hardly ever used. And the other thing is we've got an abundance of canola. We're a major exporter of canola, and yet people normally don't go past 10 or 15% inclusion of canola meal and or canola seed in their broiler diets. And we're looking at ways and means of increasing our usage of locally grown canola and also reducing the crude protein content of our broiler diets.
Yeah. Awesome.
So in a nutshell, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. No, well, I appreciate the context, and I think it's helpful because there are a lot of people working on, reduced crude protein diets for different reasons, welfare, environmental, and certainly I know those are important for you as well, but obviously you have a little bit more immediate economic need due to the geography that you're located in as well.
Yeah, I think we're paying, $200 round figures, just shipping costs to get the soybean meal to us. Yeah. And then that's got an environmental load in and of itself.
Sure. Yeah. No. So I know you've looked at this from a lot of different angles around this, the protein and the starch dynamics. You recently published some review papers, sent one over. I was looking, you kind of summarize the different experiments that your group has been working on this. So, I mean, big picture, what's really happening when we feed wheat-based reduced protein diets that is preventing the performance that we have here from what you know to this point?
Yeah, I think that's a $64 million question, but I'll try. I think the short answer is we don't really know, but okay, I think we do know. Certainly, I think we've identified some of the factors. I think the big one to me is that It's Irish, that's politically incorrect, but it's kind of odd. But the higher protein content of wheat means that you end up with more crystalline synthetic feed-grade amino acids in a wheat-based reduced crude protein diet than you do with maize. And I think that is as an inherent problem, because I think inevitably you're ending up with amino acid imbalances. You're getting deamination of surplus amino acids that are surplus to protein requirement or protein synthesis at the time. And that in turn leads to a buildup of systemic ammonia levels. And we think that plasma ammonia levels, systemic plasma ammonia levels, are really a real drawback. And there's a recent paper, I can't pronounce the gentleman's name. There's a recent paper from Brazil, and where they did assess plasma ammonia levels, and it was related to the higher the plasma ammonia level, the worse the performance, and that really is stemming from higher levels of crystalline and synthetic amino acids. So, in short, I think you've got a ceiling on how much how much synthetic amino acids you can cram into a diet before things get a bit pear-shaped. And I think with our problem, with wheat-based diets, we've just got to accept the fact that maybe we can't reduce the crude protein content of the diet to any more than, say, 3 percentage units. Whereas we've run experiments with maize-based diets, and sometimes we've even got numerical improvements in performance with a reduction of, say, 3 percentage units. But with wheat, a reduction of 3 percentage units, we're on thin ice. And if we go to, say, 5 percentage units, some of these birds just crash and burn, literally.
Right, yeah.
And then I think there's the starch dynamic. We can't really get a handle on it, but the fact is that wheat starch is more rapidly digested than starch from maize or corn, and I think that's creating a problem as well. And I think probably what you need is, whatever they are, the appropriate or the synchronized digestion rates of protein and starch. And just how you get to that point, I'm not sure. And then with wheat, I think you've got a couple of intrinsic problems. One is gut viscosity stemming from soluble non-starch polysaccharides. And I know you're going to say, hey, there's not a truckload of a wheat-based broiler diet that leaves a feed mill without xylanase in it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I think even so, you've probably got higher gut viscosities with wheat-based diets with or without xylanase than you would with corn. So I think you could probably spend a lifetime and get nowhere, but I do think the appropriate NSP degrading enzyme at the appropriate inclusion rate, could be a real plus. But that's a lot of work, and boy, you're kind of shooting at shadows. And then I sort of wonder with wheat whether the gluten content is challenging gut integrity. Maybe, maybe not. And the other thing that I don't know if it's a factor, but wheat does contain trypsin amylase inhibitors, which, if they're a real factor, and I'm not saying they are, but if they are a factor, well, that's going to increase endogenous losses, and obviously that wouldn't be a good thing. But I doubt if that's a practical issue. I don't tend to think it's not, but we haven't got confirmation of that.
Ready for more sustainable poultry production? New data suggests that decreasing bacterial loads in feed using Termin 8 supports enteric health, leading to improved performance. Gut health is more than a gut instinct. Learn more today at www.anatox.com.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time. I really enjoy your work and what you do. And I think, the way that you are looking at this biochemically, but also connecting it back to, the ingredients and the whole agricultural supply chain, I think is a pretty unique way. And I think that's why your work is so well received. So I really appreciate what you're doing there.
Oh, Sam, it's been great talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Peter.
Hey, everyone. We're always searching for the latest and greatest research to share each week. And if you have a poultry nutrition related research trial and would like to come on the show and talk about it and share it with us, feel free to email the research link, the paper where we can find it, or the abstract to hello@wisenetics.com. That's hello@wisenetics.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.